Hey guys, Lockie from e-Spurs Australia here again to talk about, the big game against Liverpool on the weekend. It's gonna be a biggie. Kind of anxious about this one, but let's get into it. Obviously Liverpool's form in the last month, even going a bit before that, has been pretty atrocious. 1 win in 10, I think it is, and that was against Plymouth in the Cup. So you're waiting for them to sort of bounce back. Obviously, they've had players away, players injured. They're not going to keep losing games. So at some point, they're going to turn it around because they are a quality outfit, and they showed that at the start of the season. That being said, is this a good time to play them or a bad time? It's sort of that wounded animal sort of thing that we had when we played Manchester City. Obviously, they were in a pretty poor form as well, but they managed to really pick it up, play one of their best games, and almost punished us. Excuse me. Now, tactically, I feel that the last few times we've played Liverpool, the teams have sort of cancelled each other out a lot. When they came earlier in the season to White Hart Lane, they sort of did the double press on us, the counter press, and we're not really dealing with that too well. Obviously, not many teams can do it as well as us, and not many teams can do it for as long as we do. So often it's not a problem, but if it's quality opposition, it can be, and it can really nullify a lot of our play. So I wonder if Poch will be looking to change up the tactics for this one. Obviously, we've seen Liverpool struggle against teams that are sitting back and really sitting back and waiting to hit them. Swansea have gotten a win. Hull got a win. And, we remember Manchester United held them in that massive game earlier in the season as well. So they really do struggle against teams that are going to park the bus, as it were. So whether Poch wants to do a bit of a cynical sort of Mourinho kind of, hey bud, his little Pochettino here. Oh, he's wet and stinky. Whether he, plays a slightly more cynical game here and sort of sits back, defends well. Obviously, we have Wanyama and Dembele in the front of defence, which can pretty much shut anyone out if they're playing well. That could be a good base to sort of move up from, rather than, playing our typical game, perhaps getting caught out, perhaps getting countered with a counter press and, losing grip on it. Would be better to start slightly more defensive, let them come at us. And, perhaps if they're not playing well, not much is happening, perhaps the crowd will get on their backs. And then, we've got a pretty good recipe going to go forward and get the win. That's all conjecture, though. It's hard to say, really. I mean, I think a defensive approach is a good approach against Liverpool because they do have outstanding attacking talent. There's no doubt about that. Particularly Sadio Mane, who's back, and you'd imagine he'd be starting to hit his stride again soon after coming back from the African Cup of Nations. He'll be up against Ben Davies, who I think actually played quite well against Middlesbrough. Wasn't tested, obviously, as much as Mane might put him under. So I've got a lot of confidence in Davies, though. I think he's a different player, obviously, than Rose, and he's not going to offer you much going forward. But defensively, I think he's sound, and if he can iron out some of those defensive or just basic errors out of his game that he showed against Middlesbrough, he'll be a perfectly fine replacement for Rose for this month or so that he'll be out. So I'm not too worried about Liverpool going forward. It's an odd game to sort of try and get your mind around beforehand because it could just go so many ways, couldn't it? I mean, their form has been bad, but perhaps they'll rebound, or perhaps our attacking players won't play up to the standard that we're used to as well, and it'll just sort of cancel each other out. I'm afraid it might be a stalemate at the end of the day, maybe a 0-0 or a 1-1. Obviously, I'd love a win, but you never know, right? So I imagine we're going to go with the same squad as we did against Middlesbrough, sort of force majeure sort of thing. Not many of the second string players are really knocking down the door to get a start. So unless there's any last minute injuries or something, I'd imagine it'd be the same squad. That's perfectly fine for me. I think everyone performed really well, especially Son. He had a really great game. Obviously, still a bit lacking in that final third, but he was an outstanding performer in that last game. So I'm hoping he can keep that going. I'm also hoping Kane, Eriksen, and Dele Alli can sort of get back on the same page and get a bit more flow to their passing and running and sort of in each other's minds a bit more, so we can sort of link up a bit better, because we'll need to, especially if we're going to be playing in sort of a more counter-attacking sort of fashion. So that's about all I have to say about the game, guys. I figure it'll be a 1-1. Yeah, I'm gonna throw Harry Kane out there. Why not? For the goal. He scored a cracker last time we were at Anfield. So I'll back him to score again, but I do feel we might concede as well. It might be a draw. Let's hope not, but right. Obviously want to keep that pressure on Chelsea and dump a competitor out of the out of the race. So yeah, let's do it. Obviously, if you want to make one of these videos as well, just pop one together on your camera phone. Camera phone? Was this 2005? On your phone or on your laptop or whatever. Pop it down to the email address down there, and Andy will take care of you from there. It'd be great to get you involved in the conversation and help this channel grow a bit. Look out for all e-Spurs stuff, podcasts on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at e-Spurs Australia. And until next time, guys. Yeah, come on, you Spurs. See you next time.